You're a card-carrying member of the Latchkey generation. You're caring for your aging parents. And you're probably trying to fix the unfixable. Sound familiar? I see you. You have a spreadsheet. You might even have two. You have a folder full of research you gathered at 2 a.m. in the morning. Because who needs sleep anyway? You have optimized your parents' care to the max. But it's still happening. They're still declining. Your folder didn't fix it. I'm Nicole, a Gen X nurse, and welcome to the Psychology of Gen X. If you want to know why we can't stop trying to fix the unfixable, stick around. And I'll tell you the one question that breaks that fixer's pattern. People who are dealing with this ask me this question all the time. Nicole, tell me honestly, is there something seriously wrong with me? Because I feel like I keep running head first into a brick wall repeatedly. And now I've done it so much, my mind thinks it's a sport. So let me say to you, the therapy co-payer right now. No, there's nothing wrong with you. Even if, as you're listening to me, you have 20 other search tabs open, looking up early signs of dementia or memory loss treatment. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you either. You're not broken. You're not crazy. You're just Gen X. And your hardware is working exactly as it was programmed. When it comes to caregiving, Gen X is just wired differently. Gen X learned problem solving early. If it's broke, you find a way to fix it. Plain and simple. It's one of our more endearing life skills. Some might argue exhausting is actually closer. And we did this over and over again. Broke, fix, broke, fix, broke, fix. Until it became a reflex. And I'll let you in on a little secret. This is so common that Duran Duran, they actually wrote a song about it. Not really. That's not what the song was about. As much as we want to, we can't fix our aging parents' decline the same way we fixed a broken bike chain. It doesn't work. And when we try to apply that same logic, our circuits get overloaded. And that's one of the main reasons that Gen X caregivers burn out faster than any others. In a bit, I'm going to give you one question that's going to put that reflex on notice. So how was Gen X so lucky to get wired this way? It all comes down to that iconic Gen X character, the Latchkey kid. You know, the one with the string, the key, coming home to an empty house. Alice didn't greet us when we got home from school with a plate of ding-dongs. That was my favorite. Put your favorite after-school snack down in the comments. If not, whatever. We learned to solve our problems alone because there was no one home to help us. We solved them using critical thinking. If we got stuck, we went looking for the information we needed. We got on our bike and we went to the library, or we went to the gas station, or the hardware store, or we went over to Timmy's house where his dad or his grandpa knew how to fix absolutely everything, and they walked us through it. Then we went home and did it ourselves. You asked the questions, you got the information, and you fixed what was broke. They call that Gen X resilience. But that resilience has a limit when it comes to dealing with your aging parents and their medical conditions, or possibly cognitive decline. It's not the same. Now, as a nurse, I can tell you that I've seen more Gen Xers try to out-research their parents' medical conditions than I ever had to untangle my favorite mixtape with a pencil. Not if you can relate. These guys, they read every article. They call every doctor. They monitor every lab result. And then put it on the spreadsheet. But underneath all this busyness, the reflex is still there. It tells you, if you try just this one more thing, you can fix it. And sometimes there is one more thing to try. Maybe a change in medications or a higher level of care does the trick. But even then, the hard truth doesn't go away. Bodies age. People decline. And sadly, there's no magical fix for this. That question's coming up soon. Hang in there. And when you're in the midst of all this busyness, you might think of me and say, Nicole, is there something seriously wrong with me? The answer's still no. There is nothing wrong with you. So why is Gen X compelled to keep doing this? Well, in a twisted way, that reflex to fix is actually trying to help you out. It's trying to keep you from the pain of having to acknowledge what's actually happening with your parents. Your parents are declining. Their body's getting older. And unfortunately, there's not much anybody can do about it. And when you realize that, it brings up this feeling that clinically we call a sense of helplessness. Now, I know you're probably asking yourself, did she just start speaking another language? Because helplessness is a foreign word to Gen X, and it makes us very uncomfortable. The part of you that learned how to fix everything when you were 10 years old is clueless about how to deal with this. So it tries even harder to solve the problem. And around and around and around we go again. And when your parent still fails, it feels like we failed as children. After all the work I've done, they're still declining? No, that can't be. But that is absolutely not failure. I need you to really hear me on this. That is not failure. So here's the fix. Just 1x. Believe it or not, it's not to build a better system. It's not to try harder. It's not searching just one more thing. The thing is much smaller than that. The next time you feel that reflex kicking in, I want you to stop for just a second, take a beat, take a breath, and ask yourself this question. Is this actually fixable, or is it just hard? If it's fixable, do your thing. You're good at it. Go make another spreadsheet, for goodness sakes. But if it's hard, your assignment changes. Now I know you're all out there saying, oh, great. Here it comes. The deep breathing, the self-care, the affirmations. I bet you she's going to tell me to light a candle and say my feelings out loud. Look, I can literally hear you snorting in your coffee. That's okay. But let me stop you right there. When I tell you to stop and ask yourself if this is fixable or hard, that's not foo-foo. That's far from foo-foo. This is much more powerful than that. This is a kill switch for that reflex. It's a hard reboot for that loop that you've been running since you were 9 years old. And it doesn't fry your circuits. So go ahead, roll your eyes. I'll wait. Then ask the question. You don't need to repeat a mantra. You don't need to get into the lotus position. You just need to strip away the noise and look at the unfiltered reality in the room. Fact 1. This is hard, and you're done pretending it's not. Fact 2. Your parents are declining. Fact 3. There's probably not a lot anyone can do about it. And it stinks. But if you don't face those facts, then caregiving becomes this endless treadmill of panic, guilt, and self-blame. Nobody wants that for you. But when you continue to try to fix the unfixable and keep knocking your head against that brick wall, you do blow out your circuits and you burn out. Then who's going to take care of you? Name the one thing that you're trying to fix that you know is probably unfixable. Mom's memory. Dad's driving. Their house is no longer safe for them to live alone. Just name it. And if you know another fixer who's burning that 2 a.m. candle, share this with them, because you know they're not going to ask for help, but hopefully they'll watch it. And if your spreadsheet has a spreadsheet, hit like. I'm Nicole, and you're in the right place.